So good morning everyone. 12th class BST chapter 6 staffing, and yesterday we did steps in staffing process. So today we will just do a recap first, then I will start with today's topic. So staffing process means how to perform the function of staffing, and yesterday we did it. Total 8 steps are there. First step is manpower planning, in which we are doing the workload and the workforce analysis, deciding how many employees are required and what type of employees are required, and uh, whether the organization is understaffed or overstaffed. Second step is recruitment, in searching for the prospective employees in the organization. Third step was selection, choosing the best candidate out of the available pool of the candidates. And in placement and orientation, candidates are placed at the job for which they were appointed, and orientation means introducing or familiarizing the new employees with the existing or the old employees, as well as with the rules and regulations of the organization. In training, their skill, their knowledge and aptitudes are increased in training and development. Then performance appraisal, their work performance is seen, that whether they have achieved the target or not, and grades are given to them, and on the basis of this grade their promotion policy is prepared, increments are done. So the next step is promotion and career planning. And the last step is compensation. Compensation means any amount which is paid to the employee, whether it is in direct form or indirect form. So it is of two type, direct and indirect. Indirect salary, wages, bonus, different type of allowances are there, and in indirect medical insurance and other facilities are there. So these are the complete staffing process and the steps in the staffing process. So today's topic is elements of staffing. So all these three topics we have already done in staffing process, but now we will be doing all these three topics in detail. So there are three elements of staffing process, three elements, or we can say the aspects of staffing. Aspects, elements, or components of staffing. Three components of staffing are there. Which three? So these three are the recruitment. Already I have introduced all three topics in the staffing process. Selection and training and development. Training and development. And this is the next topics of the chapter, and only three topics are left: recruitment, selection, training. So recruitment, what does recruitment mean? We have already done meaning of recruitment. Recruitment is the process of searching for prospective employees. Yes, process for searching for prospective employees. This is the recruitment. It's not perspective, it's prospective. Searching for prospective employees and stimulating them. Stimulating them means motivating them, encouraging them to apply for the jobs. In this step, we are just trying to find out the employees, from where we can get the employees. Then we are trying to encouraging them. We are encouraging them so that they can apply for the jobs in our organization, because we can select them only when they are applying. Only when they are applying. If they are not applying, then we will be not be having a larger pool of the employees from which we can select the employees. Okay, so in recruitment, basically two functions are done. First is the searching for the prospective employees, and second is the stimulating them. Searching for the prospective employees and stimulating them. Searching for the prospective employees and stimulating them for what? To apply for the job. So this is all about the recruitment. Like if we want to find out the teachers from all over the country, then we must be giving advertisements in the newspapers, because most of the jobs people are finding in advertisement, in newspapers nowadays. Not only the newspapers, many companies have also made their websites. So from their websites, we can also find out the job opportunities. So we have to hit the right source so that the right candidate we are able to get the right candidate. So basically in recruitment, we will be doing two topics. Meaning of the recruitment we have already discussed, so I am not going to discuss it here again in detail. So there are the sources of recruitment. So there are the two sources of recruitment, as I told you yesterday also: internal sources and external sources. Internal sources means getting the employees from within the organization. From within the organization means we are not searching the employees outside the organization. We are just searching for them within the organization. External means getting the employees from outside the organizations. Okay, outside the organization. So when we are getting the employees from within the organization, then there are two sources to get the employees from within the organization: promotions and transfers. And for outside, there are many courses, many sources. So we will be doing it later on. First, we will do promotions and transfers. So aspects of staffing: three: recruitment, selection, training. Then recruitment is a process of searching for the prospective employees and encouraging them to apply for the jobs. Then we must know from where we get the employees. So for this, we have two sources: internal sources and external sources. Internal sources means getting the employees from within the organization, and further they are of two types: promotions and transfers. Now we will discuss these two types in detail. Promotions. So what do you mean by promotion? You can tell me in chat box. Many times you people must have heard about the promotion. Your father is promoted, your mother is promoted, elder brother or sister is promoted. So what does promotion mean? What does promotion mean? Please tell me. What does promotion mean? Yes, I am waiting for your answer, students. Yes, promotion means, very good. Yes, next level. Anirudh is saying that promotion means next level. What else? What do you mean by saying next level? Yes, higher the level of employees. Very good. Going to the next level, getting a job, movement of person from lower level to higher level. Very good. Movement of employees to higher level. Yes, more authorities. Only authorities, Nishtha. Whenever you will be having more authorities, then always more responsibilities. Authorities cannot be granted without responsibilities. Otherwise, authorities will be misused. Okay, so promotion means vertical shifting. Shifting of employees means vertical upward shifting. Promotion means vertical upward shifting of employee. Vertical upward shifting of an employee from one job to, from one job position to another job position. You can see that how the promotions happen in the organization. Suppose here is general manager in one organization. Under him, assistant general manager was working, AGM, under different departmental head. Suppose this is the GM of production department. Okay, general manager of production department, and here the production manager was working under him, production manager, and under him production executives. Okay, so suppose this person has been retired, so this job position is vacant. So now the organization has two options with it. Either they can appoint a new person at this position, or they can promote the existing employees at this position. If they are appointing new employee, then there may be risk of loyalty of the employee, as well as this is a very highest position in the organization, so the new employee may leak the secrets of the organization. Okay, so in that case, suppose they have chosen the second option. They have taken the employee from the lower level. So this particular person, AGM, will be promoted to the post of GM. So in this situation, his post will be vacant. If his post is vacant, then this can be promoted to AGM post. Then his post will be vacant, then this person can be promoted to. So we can say that if promotion happens in the organization, then it creates a chain of promotions. It creates a chain of promotions. Why? Because if one person is shifted, upward shifting, we are shifting them upward. That's why it is said that vertical upward shifting of employee from one job position to another job position. And if promotions happens in the organization, then it creates a chain of the promotions. Why? Because if one person is promoted, then his job position will be vacant. Then finally the lower, but the level of the job is decreasing. In initial stage, the topmost position in the organization was vacant. When this person has filled his job, then his place will be vacant. Then this chain will be started, and it will come to the end of lowest level of the organization. And if we are having surplus employees, then we can easily appoint the lower level employee at the vacant position. If not, then we can take the employees from outside. But taking employees for the lower level from outside is not a problem, because lower level, no more authorities are given, no more responsibilities are given. So that's why promotion is, as well as promotion is also a source of motivation. Source of motivation. If the organization policy is that they will be taking the employees always from outside, internal source will never be used, means promotions will never happen. In this case, the employees will not be motivated. They will not give their 100%, because they know it very well that whatever the performance they will be given, their promotion will never happen. So keeping this thing in mind, each and every organization usually follows the promotion policies. So in this promotion policy, not only the level of employees increase, along with the level, what else increase? Yes, authority is increased, responsibilities increased, salary structure increased, job position is increased, everything is increased. Okay, everything is increased. Authorities, responsibilities, salary, job position, everything, status of the employees increased. So promotions is a good source of motivation. And second is the transfer. Second source is the transfer. And transfer means, yes, transfer, what does it mean? Transfer, like one person is transferred from Delhi to Mumbai, Mumbai to Calcutta. So what does transfer mean? Transfer basically refers to the horizontal shifting. Yes, horizontal shifting. Yes, shifting of employee. It is known as horizontal shifting. Shifting, like a production manager. Earlier he was a production manager, but he was not able to perform well as a production manager. So he has been shifted to the sales department as a sales manager, because he was well versed in convincing skills. Sales manager. So it means place of work is changed. In transfer, only the place of work is changed, not the position. Never, not the position. Earlier he was working in production department as a manager. Now the same person is working at the same post. He is manager only, but now the place of work has been changed. Earlier he was working in the production department, now he is working in the sales department. This is the interdepartmental transfer. It may be inter-branch transfer. Inter-branch transfer means, suppose an organization is having its 4 branches in different cities: Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, and Chennai. 4 branches. So this particular branch is overstaffed. Overstaffed means number of employees required are less and actual employees are more. And these 2 branches are understaffed. So organization wants to fill the vacant position in these 2 branches. So what is the option in front of the top management? That the surplus employees, whatever the surplus employees, here are the surplus employees, they can be shifted in the other branches which are in different cities. ठीक है, यहाँ पर आपके surplus employee आ गए. So surplus employees will be absorbed by the Delhi branch as well as by the Kolkata branch. Okay, so this will be Surplus employees will be transferred from Mumbai branch to the Delhi branch or to the Kolkata branch. Okay, am I clear? So in this case, transfer is there. Vertical shifting. Why I am telling you vertical shifting? Because here only the place of the job or place of the work is changed. Place of work is not the job position, not the job position. In Mumbai branch, one person was working at the production manager or the sales manager. In the other city branch also, he is working at the same level. His post is manager. So he is working at the manager post only there also. So there is no change in transfer. There is no change in job position, authorities, responsibilities, status. Nothing is changed. So what is changed? Yes, only the place of work. Only the place of work is changed. Sometime if the organization is working in shifts, morning shift, evening shift, then the transfer is done from one shift to another shift. So this is the basic difference in between transfer and promotion. Then in promotion, everything is changed. His job position, his salary structure, his authorities, his responsibilities. But in transfer, nothing is changed. What is changed? Only the place of the work or the time of the work, from one branch to another branch, from one department to another department, from one city to another city, with same the authority, same responsibility, same job status, everything remains same. So these two could be the internal sources, transfers and promotions. Okay, so some merits are there with the internal sources. Could you please tell me merits of internal sources if you are getting employees from within the organization? Then there are some merits. So let's discuss those merits. Yes, first merit. Could you please tell me any headings for the merits when any organization is taking? So I'm telling you some hints, and out of those hints, you can give me the headings. Like if the organization is getting employees from the internal sources only, then they need not to follow any selection procedure, any staffing procedure. They are having employees with themselves only, and they are just promoting them, or they are just transferring them from one place to another place. So that's why. So yes, very good. Time saving. Yes, very good. Less time consuming, we can write. Very good, Divya. Less time consuming. Very good. Because as early as possible, we can get the employees without wasting any time, because employees are with ourselves. We need to just transfer them, or we need to just shift them from one position to another position. Yes, Shubhangi is saying flexible. Why Shubhangi flexible? Could you please explain? Yes. Yes, Shubhangi, why flexible? I don't think it's flexible, internal source. So flexible is not the valid point. So next point is economical. Yes, this is the correct point, economical. Why economical? Because we need not to spend money. Suppose we want to take employees from the outside organization. Okay, from the outside organization, then we need to give the advertisements in the newspapers, or we have to follow the complete process, which may take time, because to do the interviews of the employees, we may hire to the experts, professionals who are expert in taking interviews, so we have to pay them money. But here there is no need to spend any single penny on the selection or on the staffing process of the employees. So it is very much economical. What else? Yes, what about the loyalty of the employees? If we are getting employees from outside, then they may be loyal or they may not be loyal. So what about the loyalty? Please tell. Will be getting loyal employees or not? Yes, we will be getting loyal. Yes, high loyalty. Yes, very good. Because the organization in which the workers are, or the employees are working, we know them very well, that what is their honesty level, what is their integrity level, and how is their behavior. All these things are very much clear in front of the organization. So keeping in mind all these things of the employee, they must be promoted or they must be transferred. So in this case, there are chances of getting loyal employees. Loyal means they will be not leaving the organization. Because if the person is working since 5 years in our organization and he is promoted, he is very much satisfied from the organization, then there are very less chances of leaving the job. But if suppose we are getting a employee at the higher level, top level uh, post from the outside, then we don't know that employee, we are not able to know about him, about his honesty level, about his integrity level, and we can't say whether he will be continuing with our organization or not. So there will be chances of loyalty. What about the training? Is there any need of giving training to the employees like orientation and all? Yes. Loyalty means reliable, Divya. So you need not to write again a reliable point. So loyalty or reliable employees, both are same. Training. Is there any need of training? No training. As the employees are very much familiar with the organization and organization is familiar with the employees. So there is no need of training. No wastage of money and time on the training of the employees. And what else? Yes, it could you please tell me this source is suitable for the new organization or for the old? Yes, very good, Anushka Bansal. Good point. Motivation level increases. Source of motivation you can write motivation level increases. Very good. How motivation level increases? Because when the employees know that if they are working hard they may be promoted, so in that case each and every employee will be trying to give their 100% because the motivation in front of them is promotion, their promotion. So everyone wants high salary, high authorities, high responsibilities, high status in the organization. So it will satisfy his egoistic need or status need. So in that case, each and every employee will be motivated to work hard, and only the hard working employees will be promoted, not the all employees will be promoted. So these are the 5 merits. Now think about the demerits. Think about, is it suitable for the new organization? Transfer and promotions. Yes, please tell me. Internal sources are suitable for new organization. No. So first demerit is not suitable, not suitable for new organization. So this source is available only to the existing organizations, because in a new organization there is no employee, so we cannot use the internal sources. Second, if this point, I am relating this point to the negative point. If you know that like in government department, promotions are done on seniority basis, whether you people are working hard or not. If you are senior, then definitely you will be getting the promotion. So this can be the, in what sense this point can be the demerit? Could you please tell me? In what sense this point can be the demerit? If the promotions are done, sometime promotions are done on the favoritism of the bosses also, and sometime on seniority level also. So could you please tell me that in what sense this point can be the demerit? Yes, biasness, very good. Favoritism, partiality. Suppose one employee is promoted and 10 employees were waiting for that promotion, but only one was promoted. So others may be saying that due to the biasness, that person is the favorite of the boss, that's why he's promoted. As well as in government departments, only the senior persons will be promoted. Suppose 2 employees are there, A and B. A is working in the organization for 20 years. B has recently entered and he is working for the 5 years. B is more efficient as compared to A. But whenever there will be promotion, then the organization policy is that the promotions will be based on the seniority basis. A is less competent, but still he will be getting the promotion. So if the promotion policy is not correct, not strong, in that case, there may be clashes or the conflicts among the employees. So if 10 are waiting for the promotion and only one has got the promotion, in that case, there may be conflicts among the employees, conflicts or clashes among the employees. Next, sometime like in government department, if it is clear that they will be getting promotion on the basis of seniority, so the senior employees will not be doing any task, so they will become lethargic, because they know that the promotions will be conducted on the seniority basis. One most important point is, if this is the policy of the organization that every time the new higher level employees will be taken from promotions only, then there will be stoppage of the infusion of new blood. Stoppage of the infusion of new blood. Infusion of new blood means lack of fresh talent, we can say. Lack of fresh talent. Because the old people are having their old methods, old technologies. So in that case, when vacancies are filled always only through internal promotions, there is a limited choice. You can write this point as a limited choice also. The organization will not be having the wider choice because there are only 5 employees and out of those you have to promote it. But if you are going to get that employee from outside source, in that case you will be having choice of thousands, even lakhs of persons may apply for that job position. So limited choice, the organization will be having the limited choice with itself. Okay, so these are the demerits we can say. As well as one more point you can write, that is the lack of competition. Lack of competition. If you know that you are 5 there and promotions will be done on the seniority basis only or on the basis of favoritism, then there will be no competition among the existing employees. They will be working very heartlessly and they will be not doing any effort, no innovations, no new ideas, no techniques, because they know it very well that they will be promoted because there is no competition. So there will be no competition spirit among the employees. So all these are the demerits of the internal sources, because every picture has two sides, positive sides and negative sides. So internal sources have merits as well as demerits. So we have to use them very, very carefully. And one more thing I want to tell you here, that no business can depend only on one sources. So at a time, each and every business is dependent on both the sources. Some positions are filled with the internal sources and some are filled with the external sources. Now let's talk about the external sources. External sources means getting the employees from outside the organization. Getting the employees from outside the organization. First external sources, because there are the different type of external sources. First is the direct recruitment. These are very important, and these sources come through case study. And in that case study, you need to identify the source. Then you need to explain direct recruitment first. And sometime it is also known as factory gate recruitment. Factory gate. So in this type of sources, what happens? Many times you have you must have seen that a notice is pasted at the outside of the shop or factory. Wanted sales girl, sales salesman. So such type of notices are pasted at the factory gate. Here we are talking about the employees, workers, factory gate, because in factory such type of recruitment is done only for the workers. So at the factory gate, notices are pasted and the date of the selection is written on the factory gate itself, and the workers who are passing on from the industrial areas, they just read the notice and assemble outside the factory gate on the date mentioned on that notice. And the supervisor or the any other person who has to take work from them comes at the gate of the factory on the prescribed date at the prescribed time, and on random basis he selects the employee. Like if he they are in requirement of the healthy physically, the persons who are physically fit, labor type person they need. So when they will be assembled at the factory gate, and the supervisor will be coming outside and he will be selecting on random basis. Random basis means the person who looks healthy, who looks tall, who looks physically strong, those persons will be selected by them and they will be taken inside. So there is no need of conducting any selection procedure or any other procedures. Especially this type of recruitment is followed when suddenly you are in need of a large number of bulk labor you need, or in large number of employees you need, and you don't want to spend any money on the selection of such type of workers. So this type of source can be used only for the unskilled workers. Every source has its own merits and demerits. So it is the it's uh, the, only we can use this source, we can say this is the demerit of this source, only the unskilled workers, because the skilled workers who are professional, who are expert, they are not visiting the factory areas like this. So the unskilled workers, or especially for the daily wagers who work on daily wages, such type of source is required. And one more demerit is there in this source, that this source is uncertain. Why I'm telling you uncertain? Because suppose we have pasted the note on the factory gate and that 100 workers will be appointed on this particular date, and we are just waiting for the day, and when the day comes there were only 5 workers in front of the factory gate, so we can't do anything at that time. So we will be not having much time left with us to employ the more of the labor. So this source is very much uncertain. Workers or the wagers may come, may not come. So this is all about direct recruitment. Second is second source, that is the advertisements. You all know this very much. Advertisements in newspapers. You must have seen the classified section in newspapers, advertisement in newspapers. So many companies, many organizations are giving advertisements in the newspapers for the vacancy, job vacant positions. Most of the senior positions of industry and commerce are filled by this method. Like you must have seen that in schools, mostly the schools are following this method. If they are in requirement of teachers, they are giving their advertisements in the newspapers. So it is used when so merit of this is that we must be having a wider choice, because everyone is looking for the job positions in the newspapers, and after watching or reading the newspaper they can send their applications to the organization. Okay, sometime the telecast on TV is also done, but that is a very old and traditional method. Nowadays, in the age of the internet, no one is giving job positions on TV or telecast. Though then wider choice is required here, and this is can be used only for the skilled laborers. If we need unskilled person, they never read newspapers. So like the professionals, expert, where minimum qualification is required. So such type of uh, practice is done with them. Okay, so internal sources, I have already told you. Then internal sources promotion, internal sources of recruitment, promotion features we have already done. I'm going back because internal sources of recruitment, sense of security, loyalty, I have explained all these points. Motivation to the employees, you can see that how the motivation in this picture, one employee is giving to another employee. Advantages next, economical, because we need not to spend more. Continuity of employment, better employee relationship, all these we have done. Surplus and shortage rectified. Tool for training for future managers. Preventing capable persons from outside. Employees become lethargic, I told you this thing. Then limited number of qualified hands, less choice, no spirit of competition, not suitable for the post requiring innovation, favoritism and partiality. You can write your own point after reading the concept. You can write any point which is justified, reduction in the productivity, because this is the important point. We have skipped this point, how the productivity is reduced as when the frequent transfers are there. Suppose one person has been transferred at one position, and after every 1 month he is transferred from another position, so that person is very much capable, but just because of frequent transfers he is not getting time to prove himself, he is not getting time to adjust on a job position. So in that case there will be a less reduction in the productivity. External sources, so direct recruitment we have already done. So workers or the employees are standing in front of the factory gate like this, and the one person comes inside the factory and he randomly selects the person, okay, on the basis of the notice. Then casual callers, advertisements we have already done. Second I am third I am taking, that is the casual callers. Casual callers, what is this? In this, the you know that the many companies are there, many school organizations are there where you want to uh, have a job, but at present there is no job. So what you can do, the freshers can visit, freshers or even the experienced persons can visit to the organizations in which they want to do the job, but right now there is no job. So what they can do, they can leave their resume or their biodata there over the reception, and sometime through their mail they are sending their biodata through mail to different organizations. And what the organizations are doing, they are maintaining a database of such type of applicants. They are maintaining a database of such type of applicants. Database means they are maintaining their records, that how many such type of applications have come to their organization. So as when any requirement arises, so they are just finding out their database, and to the suitable candidates they are making a call, and after getting the call the candidates are appearing in the organization, and whatever the procedures are there, after procedures like whatever the selection procedures are there, they are followed then, and the job positions are offered to them. Like suppose in our school some teacher has left the job in between the session, so at that time the school is not having much time to waste. Like suppose school is giving advertisement in the newspaper, then it may take more time. So to avoid the wastage of time, what the school can done, the unsolicited applications are laying with the school. So out of those applications they may call the required person. Okay, they may call the required person, and in this manner their job positions will be filled without any wastage. Even they need not to pay any money to anyone for making the advertisement or other things, their time will be saved. So in such type of applications are known unsolicited applications. Unsolicited applications. So database is prepared by each and every organization, and whenever any vacancy requires arises, whenever any vacancy arises, then that database is searched, and and whenever there is a matching, suppose we need English teacher, so the different applications will be searched out, and all those applications which are capable of doing English teacher job, they will be called up, and they will be given a date for the interview, and on that date that person will be coming, then the further procedures will be done. So this is known as casual callers, and if these records maintained properly can be useful for the source of recruitment. Without any wastage of time or money, we can get the employees through these sources. So class,